Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron. We're going to start a new game as Russia. It's the Russian Republic, but it's not gonna remain like that for long. Funding a land war in Asia. Sure, why not? Asia is a big place. Okay, thank you Kaiserreich team. I want to know everything. Okay, how should we start this? First and foremost, how many soldiers do we currently possess? That's quite a lot, in fact. You guys can stand down. Okay, let's take a look. So our divisions are okay. We're missing infantry equipment. Okay, you guys do need to stand down as well. In fact, I'm going to disband everyone. Alrighty. Now, what divisions do we want? Definitely not you guys. Actually, wait a sec. So, yeah, definitely don't need militia here. Wait, those are the normal divisions. Yes, you guys are going down. You? We don't need you. So, engineers or fire support? I am thinking fire support. Did I disband the fire support? Whatever. We're gonna add it later anyway. Horses with artillery. We don't need artillery on our horses. And tanks, no. Well, that's a good start, I'd say. Most of the divisions were green anyway. And we don't have enough support equipment for all of that, so that's a thing. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Let's add our air wing as well, just in case. Air superiority is kind of important. Okay, fleets. I want you O here. Outdated equipment. Yeah, we don't care about that now, do we? Let's send him to the Baltic Fleet. There you go. Military factories, because... Let's see, 70. Let's build them in Moskva. And... St. Petersburg? Well, Petrograd, but... Yes, we are using the Kaiserreich Mall. There you go. Anything else? Yes, once you guys are done, we're gonna start stockpiling you fellas, and when we reform our fleet, maybe we'll go with carriers, but I actually don't have any ambitions towards Japan. Well, actually I do, but it's not in Japan, it's kind of in Korea. Okay, let's start with you. You. And I don't know, which doctrine should we choose? I'm thinking of... Should we go with tanks? Let's go with... Oh my god! Why 500 days? Well, we are not going to pick you up for now. Okay. Infantry equipment, always good and ready, almost. We don't need rubber. Well, we do, but we can live without it. Now, outdated equipment. Well, I think it's only the subs. Okay, if we're gonna go with tanks, I do need to upgrade them as quickly as possible anyway. Okay, all the fleets on one location, that would be great. Then we'll split up the submarines from everything else, because submarines don't need to be with the rest of the fleet. Traveled history. After the October Revolution, anti-Bolshevik forces started to consolidate across the former Russian Empire, leading to a massive rebellion, with the Soviet Republic in Siberia and Don and the Kuban steppes during the middle of 1918. The White Movement made considerable gains, but could not defeat the well-placed Red Army, which still dominated the Russian industrial heartland and transportation network. The war changed when the German Empire, fearing the success of the dangerous ideology, intervened on behalf of the Whites in exchange for recognition of the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. By January 1920, both Moscow and Petrograd had fallen to the White forces. And the past 15 years, the leading political parties, the Social Revolutionaries and Cadets, have governed the uneasy coalition under Kerensky, maintaining their power throughout electoral manipulation and lack of serious political opposition. Today, Russia is becoming increasingly unstable, and other political forces are growing. They consider this now the time for change, so that the country may once again assert its power in the world. Long live Russia, one and indivisible. No, I'm not from Russia, I'm from Bulgaria. The Russian Constitution of 1980, signed in 1918, roughly a year after the fall of Nicholas II, the Russian Constitution defines the country's political institution and legislative branch, consisting of State Duma. Elected every 5 years, the Senate, considering the senator nobles, statesmen, and scholars. The executive branch is divided into office of president, elected every 6 years by the Senate, and the Council of Ministers. So it's kind of like the Russian Federation now, except it's exactly the same. The Constitution guarantees freedom and stability. Yeah, that's what it guarantees. Okay, the Russian economy. After the end of the Russian Civil War in early 1920, Kerensky's government started to recover the economy using the mix of socialist economic theories and the propositions of the Cadets and its supporters. Among the Russian capitalists, Kerensky recognized the fact to happened redistribution of the land among the Russian peasants and restored the private land ownership using gold reserves of the Russian Empire, which during the Civil War was under Kolchak's control and later was transferred to Petrograd. Kerensky introduced a new currency and launched new economic policy, I lost the paragraph, as known as NEP, which allowed him to recover the Tsarist industry, including the military plants, and involve American investors in the various branches of the Russian economy. However, the slowing growth of the economy, as well as the intensification of the confrontation between the right and left parties of the Russian establishment, led to the recognition in 1933. But it is clear that Russia industries still have a great potential, which can straighten the economy as well as the industrial position of the country. Let's go with this. Okay, now we have to wait. Yeah, it's gonna be some time before. Oh, great. Okay. Before we go to war, the assassination of Kerensky. Yeah, this guy died. He looks quite old. Consider this person lived till the 80s, I believe. The sound of gunfire rings across the capital. Alexander Kerensky, the president of the Russian Republic, was shot and killed by an assassin while he was climbing to the steps of the Senate House. His killer was shot dead by the military police before he could make his escape. His motives will forever be unknown. Regardless, the fate of Russia has been irrevocably changed, for better or for worse. A shot that will ring across the world. Southern dreams are shattered by a bullet in the dark. Well, popularity. Okay, did it immediately change? Yes. The civilian support for the ruling party has reached low levels, which has negative influence on our political power. Our opposition is strong enough to form a coalition against us, forcing us to consult and compromise with them often. Yeah, that is bad. Well, only political power suffers here. Okay, we just barely passed this. President Kerensky. The aftermath of the assassination of Kerensky. The assassination of our long-term president, Alexander Kerensky, has thrown the country into chaos. With the president gone, the government coalition of cadets and social revolutionaries has collapsed, and the forces look ready to seize control of the broken nation. So, what should we choose? Okay, well, we are going to declare a martial law and dissolve the Duma. Okay, aren't you gonna tell me any bio of this guy? No? Okay. We'll wait. No national focus can be elected right now. Yeah, the things are gonna get worse far faster than they're gonna get better. Is that all the fleets? Two of them. Okay, who's going to be the admiral? How about this guy? I like his portrait. He actually kinda looks like Kolchak, doesn't he? I wish you could play as Kolchak in Russia. I mean, I guess this is fine, but eh. So we are authoritarian Democrats. Join faction tension limit. We're just gonna wait. Marshal Vaugau addresses the nation. A few days after seizing power, Marshal Vaugau went forward to address the troubled Russian people. A man of noble birth, Vaugau will do anything to ensure the survival of Russia, even if that means letting go of his dreams of a new Romanov monarchy. In his widely publicized speech, the Marshal declared his intentions to maintain order and stability in Russia, but by any means necessary, even if it means compromising with the more extreme rightist groups. A black baron shall bring order to Holy Russia. It's gonna be awesome. So the Alash Autonomous Region declares independence. Fools, they don't know what they are doing. They will be brought to heel. Terrible news. Should there be a space here? Anyway, our autonomous region of Alash Orda has decided to use political chaos in Russia following the assassination of Kerensky to sever almost all ties with Russia and declare independence. While many hotheads in the General Staff are demanding immediate action, ongoing chaos prevents us from responding to this treachery. It seems that we must let Alash Orda be for now. There is nothing we can do. Oh yeah, I disbanded the military, so that was probably a bad idea. Maybe I should have left 25 divisions. But, how many divisions do we currently want? Let's see, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Let's go with 80 divisions. That's going to be our infantry divisions. We are going to have tank divisions as well. Okay. Oh, you're here already. Together then. What do we have next? Can you move here? Wait, that's our fleet. And you're gonna take your sweet time, aren't you? Yeah, the Japanese front is gonna be kind of suffering, you know, but we have to live with that. Fighter wings. Oh, in one place. I want you in Moscow. Tumor dies. Downfall of stability. Oh yeah, that's a lot of stuff that just happens. We'll read them appropriately. Appointing a prime minister. The Duma has been dissolved and martial law declared. Marshal Pyotr Vargel is now nominally of control of the country. A prime minister should be appointed for the new regime. A burden in basis of support. Pavel Milukov. What does this guy do? Political power minus 5%. We don't want that. Okay, consumer goods factories. That's actually kind of good. Smirnov actually does negate that minus 0.5 with plus 10, so maybe we could use it. Patriarch Kirill. What does he give you? Which grants head of government, authoritarian democrat, spiritual leader, national unity, consumer goods, factories. That's worse. Proshikevich. Let's see, Vladimir Proshikevich. What do you give? You give exactly the same things, except that you take my political power. Russia needs but one ruler. We don't know what that means. Yeah, we're going to keep Kerensky's prime minister for now. Okay. Boris Strumer dies. One of Russia's most experienced politicians, Boris Strumer, has passed away due to a heart attack. Upon hearing the news, Kerensky's assassination born in 1848, Strumer was one of the few people in Russia to remember the Crimean War. He was a symbol of Russia's traditions and continuity. Memento mori. Downfall of stability. Due to a recent lack of political power, our country's stability has weakened even more. This does not bode well. Oh, this is bad. We're gonna go to disaster, I believe. There is still time. We might actually avert that, or maybe we won't. I'll see. Edward VIII, crowned the King of Britain. George V, the last King of Great Britain and Ireland to have ruled the home islands themselves, have passed. While in exile in Canada, the first Windsor King, his reign shall be remembered with a sorrow, sadness, as during the Britain lost both the Bell Creek and the homeland. The crown was inherited by Edward, Prince of Wales, who now styles himself as Edward VIII. King Edward is vengeful and ambitious man, and not on good terms with Prime Minister Mackenzie. Mackenzie King, okay. He lives on the go of avenging his father and on conquering British Isles, and thus is quite popular among the British exiles in Canada, amongst other people. Interesting. The workers' strike. Some workers in one of our cities have organized themselves and bargain strikes, completely disrupting own industry production within the city. They demand higher salaries and enforcement of labor regulations, preventing unfair treatment of the workers' force. Okay, what can we do? Ignore their demands, fulfill their demands, or send the army to pacify them? Yeah, we are going to just fulfill their demands. It's only 120 days, it's not that much. Okay, payment of the Brest-Litovsk reparations. During the Berlin Congress in November 1935, the Germans forced us to repay the remaining part of the Bell Creek War indemnities agreed upon in the Brest-Litovsk Treaty in 1980, 1 year earlier than expected, which has put the government in a declined position. The current budget of 1936 is already stretched to a bare minimum, and if we are to pay the accursed 10 tons, the 2 tons, of course, the cabinet sees no other alternative than imposing harsh austerity measures. The cuts in the government spending will be most harshly felt in the social service sector and in the many homes of individual war veterans, depending on the state support. Our citizens are already disgruntled and dissatisfied with the incumbent coalition of cadets, the Social Revolutionaries united under the even more unpopular presidency of Alexander Kerensky, and its fear that these austerity measures will bring still more extreme political groupings upon the political scene. Okay. 240. Oh yeah, we're gonna reach disaster pretty soon. The Russian Reich. Well, it's the Russian dictatorship, so I guess so. Okay, let's move forward. We need support equipment. Now, support equipment is harder to get than artillery, so we are gonna move you up. The Black Monday. On the 3rd of February 1936, the Berlin Stock Exchange stopped sinking. It plunged. Filled with instability of the market, panic selling erupted as soon as the stock market opened on Monday morning. It took well into the night for the trends to stop pouring out the results of what became known as Black Monday. When the results had been analyzed, it was pretty clear the situation had only gotten worse. It should be gotten, right? Anyway, the shock of this unprecedented economic catastrophe will no doubt be felt over the entire world. The German Golden Age has ended, for now, at least. Mein Gott! Oh, don't worry, we are gonna take Crimea, we're gonna take Japan, and we're even gonna take Korea, because we are just so awesome. But it's gonna take a long time before that happens. So, with the rise of international dissent, the government has got itself an international police able to actively hunt down the protesters. Well, sure. So much lower. It's actually kind of hard to keep up, isn't it? Oh dear, that's gonna cost us one political power. Okay, it's still gaining. I mean, as long as we're kind of positive, right? Right? Electoral gridlock in France. The Commune of France is the world's leading syndicalist nation, united as a federation of city communes and directed by Comité de Salut Public, the chief executive ever since its inception. However, the second commune was not uniform in its policy. Numerous factions across each one with their own ideas of which path France should take. As the time for revenge against Germany and the World Revolution closes in, the CGT election of 1936 is said to be very important. It was so important, in fact, that none of the four factions could acquire majority. Much like before, the election coalition must be found, but how will this change the shape of the commune's politics? Only the man on the CSP itself knows. Okay? Is it though? I think it's kind of different. I'm not sure. Did they have Black Monday and Black Friday in the United States? Let's see. The Grand Depression. Well, sure. It's kind of a sequel, you see. The Fifth Anglo-Afghani War. After the Valkyrie, as the British Raj collapsed in turmoil and warfare, neighboring kingdom of Afghanistan took advantage of this, an opportunity to seize Peshawar and Quetta, both borders regions of the Dominion. However, the Afghani government and governance attempt to modernize over the last decade have been met with fierce resistance from the conservative elements within the country. King Emmanuel Khan, King or Khan, you know, now hopes to use the turmoil in Delphi following the death of George V to his advantage by representing the success of the Fourth Anglo-Afghani War. The king hopes to silence the conservative opposition, bring new land to its crown. However, international experts do not put many hopes on the tiny mountainous nation winning this conflict. We care about Afghanistan. Hey, Afghani lives matter. Well, America is still in depression, so maybe. I don't know, I think we should send people to America to stop communism from spreading there. And because we are not gonna go to war in a long time, I will need something to do to keep my sanity in check. Profits from the legislation cities. Following the 1926 German intervention in China, the Treaty of Nanjing, signed in November of that year, foreign trade was led to the richest cities of the coast under a joint coalition. Black Monday hits Russia. Oh no, Ivan Pavlov died. Ivan Petrovich Pavlov, a widely known Russian zoologist, died today. At 86, I thought it's 86th Street or something, in Petrograd. He received the Nobel Prize of Medicine in 1904 for his research on the disintegrative system, but he is most known for the works on the classical conducting. The Russian president expressed his sadness and announced that his laboratory would soon become a museum. Okay, that's nice. Political power, -10. We're still not done here. Coalition world powers owning the interest in China. The independence of this consortium of cities was guaranteed by 10 powers. Australasia, that's Australia, right? Yeah. I really like this flag, by the way. Something about it that I just really like. Okay. If I let the US go commie, then I'm gonna have to send support to France or Serbia when they declare on Bulgaria, because they will. I can focus on Europe, you know, but I think that the American Civil War will be before the Spanish one or the Balkan War. No puppets. Everything shall be mine, including Constantinople, or as the Russians call it, Tsargrad. Almost 3 weeks ago, Berlin Stock Exchange plunged into bottomless depths, throwing Germany's economy into the unprecedented crisis. Now the shockwave of the crash have been reached Russia. German and Bohemian-owned companies have closed down or laid off their workers. The Russian ruble is losing value, and resources exports are shrinking. Yeah, let's take that in, 5 days. Just 5 days. Well, actually, no. It's 0.15, so that's gonna take a little bit more. Shall we take Berlin? It all depends. If Berlin wants to do something about Finland, and we are gonna try allying Finland because I like Finland. Finland is the best Scandinavian/Baltic nation in the world. Considering that the others are what? Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, I'd say. And Iceland, but Iceland doesn't exist yet. I hope you're not from Norway or Sweden, because what I just said might be kind of offensive. Okay. Yeah, we are going to stop here. Let's continue with this. Australasia, Austria, Canada, Flanders, Wallonia, Germany, Italy, Japan, National France, Russia, and USA. Foreign investments of the legation cities themselves flourish, not only through the foreign trade, but also thanks to smuggling into the almost ASEAN, the king terrorists. However, while we are officially part of the Legislation City Council, we have been unable to gain access to profit it should entitle to us. Those bastards. Oh, well, almost clicked that. It will go away, just ignore it, put it in a corner, turn off the lights and pretend that it doesn't exist. At least for another 3 weeks. Okay, the romanticization of Ottawa. The Treaty of Bucharest of 1918 officially ended the Weltkrieg for the Romanians. On the high cost, the nation was now dominated by German-Austrian industries. Oltenia was demilitarized and oil fields were leased to Germany up to the distant year of nice 2012. The humiliation Romania endured resulted in the developing into a national populist dictatorship by the conductor Cornelius Cordeniu. Cordeniu and his Iron Guard set out to restore Romania on what they say it should have been, a titan on the Balkans. The first major move conducted by the conductor, of course, is the romanticization of Ottawa, a strategic region in Wallachia, with large oil reserves and military industries. The world is changing. So let's just take a look at the oil fields. So the oil fields are here, not here. I guess you should have added a little bit of oil here or there. Okay, we read that, but we are not doing anything about it. The First International Congress. Representatives of the numerous syndicalist and socialist nations have gathered in Paris today in what might just be the defining moment of the history of the ideology. The French Commune has invited numerous countries to the first official gathering of the members of the Third Internationale to discuss political foreign matters, to cooperate on the spreading of socialism further. The French opened the Internationale with a powerful parade festival in Paris, and finally speech by the chairman of CSP. Topics like Spain, the United States, the world economic crisis at the top priority, okay, and it's expected that the French and Britain will take initiative in the gathering. Yes, of course they will. Yeah, but we have to think about oil because this is rightfully ours. Yes, I know it's not rightfully ours now, but it will be in this alternate timeline where Germany won the First World War and all the world turned to a catastrophe. After a brief French civil war, the old government of France and its supporters fled to North Africa to escape syndicalist wrath. The nation eventually developed into a military junta under the lion of Verdun, Philippe Pétain, the man who famously said during the First World War, "Ils ne passeront pas," which of course means "they shall not pass." They said the same about the Second World War, but they passed. Anyway, let's take a look at his portrait. Oh, I guess he restored the monarchy. Yeah, that makes sense. But what should be the government? It appears that the French have answered the question themselves, though as a national French state has accepted the agreement, restore the monarchy in France. Oh, hail France, I guess. Okay. Haha, now we can take that. Ish. Okay, yes, we are gonna go to disaster. There is nothing we can do to prevent that. With the situation in the countryside growing increasingly unstable, the peasants become easily influenced by various agitators. One such situation has recently taken place. A charismatic activist visited a number of villages, calling for open revolt against our regime. How should we react to this person? Arrange an accident. Okay, we have this and this. I think we're gonna research planes and then we're gonna go out in tanks. But let's take a look actually. Tanks, and yeah, 2 years ahead of time. We could research that, but we need something that gives us a little bit tank armor technology. What do we need for that? Has completed reform the army. Markov's plan. Oh, look at that. Our great, how do we call him, Grand Duke? Well, I guess it's a republic still, so our great president. Can have his own plan. And it's the Grand Battle Plan Doctrine. Yeah, I don't exactly like the Grand Battle Plan, but he shot himself while shaving. That happens. That gives you a lot of political power though. How much does the tank one give you? Markov's plan. 20. AMO 10. I'm not very sure what this is. I'm also not sure. Should we go for Katyushas? I mean, they did win the Second World War to a degree. Arthur Hurner elected as chairman of the TUC. The 1936 Trade Union Congress, the Union of Britain, made out to be a decisive, long-time chairman of the TUC, Philip Snowden, declared his resignation, causing four major factions in the Union, Maximalists, Autonomists, Federationists, and Congressionalists, to butt head over the position. And the dust settled, Arthur Horner, current General Secretary, has been chosen as Snowden's successor. He has his Federationists are in favor of keeping the status quo, a position getting harder and harder to maintain in the changing world. Getting light tanks, you think? Well, yeah, but I need military power and we can't get that. This mod does not allow you to have doctrine specialists. Also, we need political power to hire them. Oh, Mongolia is gonna be watched. We actually have a focus to help them see the way. It's called... Let's take a look, shall we? Yeah, there it is. Wipe Mongolia from the map. Yeah, it's kind of extreme, but bear with me. Do they honestly deserve to exist? I mean, it's 300 people, and it's not actually people. It's 300 horses over 300 miles of land. Changing the world. Okay. Let's take a look at this dude. Oh yeah, he looks like a nerd. He'll do. Okay. Going with the light tanks. We also don't have enough factories to produce tanks right now, so this can actually... This looks amazing. I don't know why, but I just find this very, very cool. One gun is simply not enough. Then we'll take it down to one. Okay. Light tanks it is. Just a second. If we start with heavy tanks, yeah, we can actually go heavy tanks here, here, and here, but that's kind of a long way. We're gonna go with small tanks, I mean medium tanks. Okay, we're done with this, and we need to wait now. 16 days, come on, no disaster. Wonderful. Agitated by various groups, the improvised peasantry has risen up. The local administration is powerless against the mob, and it seems that the only way to solve the crisis is to use force. Alternatively, we can always attempt to negotiate. Yeah, negotiate, let's call it that. Although satisfying the peasants' demands may turn out to be quite expensive. Okay, what's the difference? The days. 365 days or 150 days. Let's go with this. Oh, come on! Due to our recent lack of political power, our country has been plunged into a disaster. Look, we're not in a disaster. We're positive-ish. Ah, well, let's take a look. Production efficiency cap minus 20%. Factory output. Do we even have any civilian factories? Oh yes, we do. We have a... Oh, okay, we don't. Not to worry, it's just a minor disaster. You know what I wish? You know how there are Well, I'm gonna show you after we have deployed a unit. You're joking. The Allgemeine Ausstellungsschlacht declare war on the Republic of China. Ah, this is a revolt. I assume it's a civil war or something. China first. National populists. Huh. That's why we're building only military factories. We are born for war. And we have a big stockpile of guns, which will go down. Here's the thing though, I'm not going to defend the Siberian front. I don't think it's necessary for now. Oh, we have units ready. Okay, now if I deploy you here in Kuga. Yay, we have 2 men. They're happy. Now let's say that I fight a war. What I wish is, if it's even possible, to say I want to claim this land, and my faction will acknowledge those claims, and when the war ends, if we win the war, they're gonna give me that land. Now, as you might have noticed, this is in the middle of a state. I do want, if you can, to make it so that this part can be integrated into one of these states, preferably this small one, which would take some of the factories. Because, you know, if you take this and this, I just don't like such holes like this one here. In fact, you can see it on this one here. This state looks disgusting. It has 2 holes right here and here. It's like someone tried to draw borders, then hiccuped on the middle of it and assault on a general. Oh, okay, we're not gonna get out of the disaster that easily, it seems. The anarchist socialist syndicates in the Bolsheviks are weakening the stability of our motherland. Recently, one of them assassinated the famous general. That's it, we're just gonna say general and not even gonna tell us who it is. Well, okay. I want the head of that bomber on my desk. Okay, who should be the general of the, how should we say, volunteer force we're gonna send to Turkey and other places? Okay, I don't want someone who is very powerful, someone who is weak. This guy, he's an engineer. Okay, I'm gonna send you to America. Well, no. We agree that America should be communist, so we're not gonna intervene there. We care not of the Americas. We no longer get the effect of a field striker's demand. Oh! Seeing 1 year, it just passed without me even noticing. It's so good. Industry, thank you very much. We need to reform that battle plan though. What is preventing us this? Soviet threat? Divided military staff. Yeah, that's it. So I have to ask, if we say research, where are they? Is that the Nikin? It's just a sec. I think I saw him there. Yeah. Anton Danikin. Cool. He's a field marshal. And an old guard. Yeah, they probably won't. But I do wish every state had its own name. Oh, there we go, increase in stability. Yes, we're no longer in a disaster. And that's how we fix a country for a day. First Women's Division of Death. Oh, that's a pretty decent one, I believe. So, Maria Bukhareva, colonel of the Russian army and hero of the Velkreik and the Russian Civil War, have recently requested the government to allow formation of the 1st Women Division by combining existing women's battalion of dead, which should later serve as a basis of frontal women's corps. Accepting this proposal will surely boost the strength of our army, and not to forge significant propaganda value, but conservative elements in our armed forces unwilling to change the status quo have to be taken into consideration as well. Let's allow that. 1st Women's Division of Death. Equal rights for everyone. If they want to die, who are we to stop them, right? However, you are going to be switched to an engineering company. Priority, please, on reinforcements. Italian majority. Who? Palmiro Taglietti. Okay, the 5th Congress of the Greater Italian Union, known to the rest of the world as the Socialist Republic of Italy, has ended. Gorky died. Oh, a shame. Okay. So, Palmiro Togaretti continuing his mandate by achieving majority of the votes in the government, so yeah. There is actually a chance that, what was the name? Mussolini can take charge of the communists. Russian writer Alexei Maximovich Peshkov, known under his name Maxim Gorky, died today in Moscow at 68. A fellow traveler of the Bolsheviks, he experienced opposition under the Tsarist regime, but was quite doubtful during the October Revolution, thus avoiding repressed. After the Civil War, a rabid opponent of Kerensky, he publicly supported Bakurian, and he narrowly followed his son in death. Many think that his sudden death could be due to the changing political atmosphere in Russia. No, it's because he's old. The Arab Congress. Okay. In the Velkreik was a failure. The Arab revolt in the Velkreik was a failure, most due to the defeat of the Entente. The millions of Arabs living in the Levant and Iraq stayed under the Ottoman rule. Despite this, though, Arabian nationalists have been on the rise for many years, and it's finally culminated in the beginning of the Arab Congress in Cairo. Representatives of the numerous Arabic nations were greeted with speculator preferences by Egyptian dancers and artillery salute. So yeah, they were dancing because they were firing with shells against them, so yeah, I would dance too, you know. The negotiations began. Expert predicts that Egypt and Hashemite Arabia will lead the Congress. A Congress where bitterness towards the Ottomans, sometimes even discussions of the United Arab Axis against the Turks, can follow freely. Well, that's what kept the Balkans together in the First Balkan War, I guess. Hatred for the Ottomans. Okay, initial stabilization. Nice. With the first wave of the crisis slowly passing by, some less affected branches of the economy have bounced off the bottom. Still, the overall state of our economy does not look optimistic. Yes, it does. The assault on the general. What again? The anarchist socialist syndicates of Bolsheviks are weakening the stabilization of our... Yeah, we had this already. Oh, shoot. Okay, we're gonna wait 7 days and hope this does not actually fire again, because it's gonna be a disaster all over again. We need better artillery and infantry equipment. Also this. And perhaps this. You know, let's go with this. We're not gonna go to war anytime soon. We are gonna send some volunteers, but we don't need to be strong on that. If you're gonna keep firing, I'm gonna keep ignoring you. Yeah. Okay, I did notice this little state that does not deserve to exist on its own. That's why I actually think if it was integrated in this state, or if the Serbians have it into this state, that would be great. And will prevent some of the border wars. The Kingdom of Siam declare war on the Siamese Federation. Bow Raid Rebellion. While the Siamese Revolution itself was successful, its political implications an absolute mess from the yellow-covered dossier. Oh, reforming the military, nice. Recent military expertise have led to one irreversible conclusion. The Russian military is a mess. Yeah, it was a mess during the Soviet Union as well. Sweeping the reforms are needed if we are to be taken seriously by the neighbors. Each of our top commanders, both the army and the navy, has come up with plans. Their propositions await your consolation. I'll have a look. Okay. That's 40. We don't want to take that now, but I have to. Oh man, we're gonna go down to disaster again. So, I was actually planning on Vargel's plan for Grand Battle Plan or mobile warfare. Okay, fortunately there is a simple solution to that dilemma. I'm gonna toss a die. 1, 2 and 3, it's gonna be Vargel's plan. On 4, 5 and 6, we're gonna go with Markov's plan. Wait, 4, 5 and 6 will be Markov's plan, okay. It's a 4. Markov to the rescue. Who is Markov anyway? Do we have a bio on this guy? Miller. Of course, Miller is such a Russian name. I don't see him. I guess he's gonna be a field marshal or a general. I don't know. Oh dear. Borodet's Rebellion. Okay, we are starting to read that. While the army chief, Longfellow Grankham, himself declared his allegiance towards the parliament, Prince Borodest organized an armed mutiny in northern and northwest region of the country, with his former subordinate proclaiming themselves the Khanate Gur-Bar Gun Amakat National Reclamation Party. The march towards the Begak. This prompted a quick government reaction, which engulfed the whole nation in the flames of a Siamese civil war. Nice. Status of our state religion. Oh my! Well, I'm glad it didn't take you. The Orthodox Church, under the leadership of vocal patriarch Kirill, is demanding clarification of its legal status in the Russian Republic. He wants us to pass a constitution amendment on the issue of our national religion. Well, we actually decided to go against Patriarch Kirill before, so no. Who wants a military dictatorship where the church has any rights? It's not a dictatorship. It's a holy empire. And as we know, the Holy Roman Empire wasn't Roman, or holy, or even an empire. It was a mess. And a huge border war. Okay. Yay! We have a state religion, everyone! Oh, hail Orthodoxy. Now we can pick you. Oh dear. Okay, how about you guys be assigned to that order once you drop down? Aren't you part of Europa? Apparently not. Oh, Germany. Sweet, sweet Germany. Should we send volunteers to Germany to help them out? Actually, we can't. We actually need... How many divisions? I think we need 7. Oh, 15. Yeah, that's a big no-no. Reforming the Navy. Recent naval maneuvers have led us to one conclusion. Okay, we'll have a look at the Navy as well. After the Markov's plan, which will include a lot of tanks and a lot of mobility. which will also include new research for better tanks. Death of Pius IX, well, the 11th. Of the Italian Federation mourns the death of His Holiness Pope Pius XI, who passed away in his sleep after having been in declining health for the past several years. The Holy Father will soon be interred with the rest of the predecessor in the tomb of popes until the next pope can be chosen. The Italian Federation will be ruled by a college of cardinals in Rome. The succession of His Holiness is made all the more important due to the Catholic Church's role in government, the nation, as well as the violent opposition of the syndicalism, a force which has divided Italy and created the Southern backward republic. Backwards. Sure. Okay, this guy is gonna be our top admiral. We could have chosen this guy, but he's old guard, and this guy, he's gonna be our submarine commander. Yes, I know he's on old guard as well. Speaking of submarine commanders, old submarines. Wow, we have a lot of submarines. I thought there were less. Don't know why. Always imagined that Russia had fewer submarines during that time. Seawolf. Mess for the motherland. Ah. Okay. A large-scale celebration has taken place in our capital. Apart from the thousands of common Russians, the Patriarch, members of the Romanov family, and dozens of nobles, politicians, and high-ranking officers have attended the mass. This is a great occasion to underline the ties between the government and the church in these uncertain times. Okay. Snami Bok. Modernization, maybe. Here's the thing though, we can go... Oh, wait a second, that thing disappeared. Yes, so we actually need... In 5 days we're gonna choose our first doctrine. Yay! Navy? Well, I actually don't need to worry about that right now. I think I'm gonna go with battleships, so... But we are not gonna use Navy at all right now. Let's go with Army Modernization. Wait, what does that give me? I think it gave me 50% on infantry weapons and support artillery. How long? 70 days. Okay. I need to be reminded here, because if I forget in 50 days, it's gonna be kind of a waste. Oh. And Washington fell. Oh no, that's Warsaw. Warsaw. I always imagined that Washington falls in this mod. Let's take a look. So... Oh, that's a terrible move by the Germans. So they took absolutely everything except this part, which means that they won't liberate the Polish-Lithuanian Empire as a puppet. They won't waste any political power for that. And they're gonna keep all the factories. That's how the mod works, unfortunately. They might actually do something with it after the next patch, I don't know. One described the Paris of the East. During the Renaissance, Warsaw has hit rough times in the recent memory. There was hope after the Weltkrieg of a renewal, but alas, fate has not been kind. Just pick this. Okay. As the Polish-Lithuanian army collapsed trying to defend the city from both sides of the Wisła, oh, for the love of river, from advancing German forces. In a bitter twist to old memories, the royal castle in Warsaw has been plundered again by Polish-Lithuanian soldiers before they fled the city. According to the German Empire... Oh, if the information comes from the German Empire, you can take it with a pinch of salt, I think. The Polish-Lithuanian Empire hotly consists this claiming German troops ransacked the palace after heavy fighting. Regardless, with the fall of its capital, the future of the Polish-Lithuanian Empire is in jeopardy, and it stopped existing. Riots and protests in the region University. Ragun University. That's the Indians, right? Dissatisfaction with the lack of popular involvement in the government has sparked some of the greatest demonstrations in Burma since their own independence in 1926. Streaming from great progress region university, radical leftist students have occupied several administrative buildings and held rallies denouncing the monarchy and the feudal backwards. Okay, that's not important. Monarchy and the feudal backwards as being corrupt and determinal of the welfare of the nation. Still, the demonstrators have managed to garner the support of the industrial workers and rural farmers, restricting the winning movement of the Burmese intelligence. Okay, interesting. Let's follow this development. Oh, okay, I've noticed that once this guy becomes president, they have a chance to avoid the civil war. Wonder if that's gonna happen here now. Despite a massive initially rampart in the nation, ever since the Great Depression in 1925, the present election went forward, and the voting results are clear. Democratic candidate John Nance Garner is the 32nd President of the United States. Garner was defeated in the 1932 Democratic Parliamentary, but has returned with a campaign focused on defeating democracy, fighting both CSA and AFP, even with brute force in consideration. This stance has alarmed the left and right radicals in the US, and the Union's political crisis might turn even worse. We'll see what happens. The capital shall be Moscow. Okay, I think I'm gonna end this episode here, however, so thank you all for joining me, and I'm gonna see you all next time.